Welcome back to Digital Trends, CES 2018 coverage here live in Las Vegas. I'm Greg Nibbler and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube. And right now we are going to be speaking to Andrea Brimmer of Ally Bank. And you are the Chief Marketing and PR Officer at Ally. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited, and I'm excited to talk about what this subject is. It's millennials and cars and how technology is shaping their decision making in particular. And now with, you think about it with Uber, Lyft, and other ride-sharing apps and reports that fewer millennials are buying cars, a lot of people think that younger people aren't as interested in cars as older generations, but that's not true, correct?
No, I mean, nothing that we've seen would suggest that. In fact, we think car culture is alive with millennials, probably more so than ever. They just think about their cars a little bit differently. They think about them as freedom. They think about them the same way that other generations have thought about them, a way to give them mobility and to give them the opportunity to get out on the open road and do things. And the study that we did with Jason Dorsey's company down in Austin found that millennials, more so than any other generation, are actually saving for cars. Almost 60% are saving for cars. They enjoy the whole process of going to a dealership, shopping and buying cars. So we think car culture is alive and well.
So Uber and Lyft aren't affecting how millennials look at cars?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think that they've changed the way that millennials just think about transportation in general, right? Uber and Lyft are one solution that give them an opportunity to have mobility in a different way. But they're not changing or impacting really their purchase of vehicles. And what we're also seeing is that millennials are thinking about Uber and Lyft now as employment opportunities. So getting a vehicle gives them the opportunity to have something where they can have a little bit of a side hustle and make money. The other thing that we found that I thought was kind of humorous and interesting in the study is that millennials like cars so much that 48% said they actually choose a car because they think it gives them an opportunity to get a better date. So they're still very conscious about their image and what a car says about them.
That's fantastic. Well, what about technology? How is that changing the consumer mindset? Here at CES, we see a lot of push towards autonomous vehicles. Like, how does new technology on the horizon affect the decision making in buying a car?
Yeah, so we obviously study that very carefully because our role as Ally Bank is that we're one of the largest providers of auto loans in the country, and so it's really important for us to understand the impact that all of this new technology, autonomous driving, Uber, Lyft, all the things that are really surrounding the automotive marketplace right now, the impact that that's going to have on our industry. And we're looking at those trends very carefully. Autonomous driving we still see as 10 years away in terms of really being ubiquitous as a solution for people. But I think what we're seeing more so is that the technology that's being put into vehicles, the amount of data that's being collected in vehicles every single day, that's what's really important. So when you think about things like Apple CarPlay, when you think about the things that Samsung has done in the space, when you think about the things that different companies are doing so that you basically have a computer on wheels and the ability for millennials to be able to interact more safely with their devices, that's where we're seeing the biggest impact. The other thing that we're seeing is that people are turning their vehicles more quickly because they want the latest technology in vehicles just like they want it in their phones. And so the more advances that are made in the vehicle, the quicker people want to get into a new vehicle to get that latest advancement.
What about the actual process of buying a car? Because that has changed a lot.
Yeah, it's changed a ton.
Millennials have more information at their fingertips than previous generations and are generally more savvy with that. So does that translate into an easier shopping experience for them than previous generations? Yeah,
there is a ton of things that have been impacted by in terms of the shopping process by technology and the digital information that's available to people. One of the things that I think is most interesting is that 5 years ago, the average consumer actually physically shopped 5 different dealerships. Today they only go to one. So not only are they deciding what they want to buy, but they're deciding where they want to buy. And the biggest impacts that we're seeing are a couple. One, there's more transparency than ever before. You know exactly what vehicle, where it's at, how much it costs, what other people are paying for it, what equipment you should get on it. So all of that is at people's fingertips. So when they're walking into the dealership, they're very well armed with that information. And then they have a lot of information about the dealership itself. They activate their social armies, and they ask about, did you have a good experience at this dealership? What kind of car do you think I should buy? So they're seeking information kind of from their social armies. And then third, we're seeing that people are more savvy than ever before about the whole financial process. I mean, most people turn to Jell-O when you walk in that F&I office, and it's time to negotiate the deal. Now people know. They know, like I said, what that car's worth, what their trade-in is worth, the different rates they can get. We've found that people are literally shopping different rates while they're sitting across the desk from the F&I manager, because you've got your phone in your hand and you can do that. So it's completely changed, and there's a lot of new and interesting solutions that exist today that are changing the entirety of the process, where you can have a car delivered right to your house, never even leave your home, and do everything literally on your computer or your phone.
I mean, what are some other ways that millennials are different shoppers than other generations?
I think the biggest thing that we're seeing is that millennials tend to lead the trends, right? And so they lead the trend around, like I said, activating their social armies and then seeing other generations follow that. They're more savvy. They do their homework. They are more well-informed when they're walking into the dealership. And they also are doing a better job of really understanding their options, like getting their credit right before they walk into the dealership, understanding their finance options, and really taking the process really seriously. And the one thing we found in the study that we did that was really interesting is they're more optimistic. They like the process more than boomers and Gen Xers. So they don't dread it like boomers and Gen Xers. They actually look forward to it.
Good for them, because yeah, it has been kind of a process for me through the years, and that's fantastic to learn about these different ways that it works. Anything else that you want to share with people?
No, I just think, like I said, it's a really, being at CES and thinking about, all of the things that are changing in our industry is really exciting. It's a really exciting time. It's changed more in the last 2 years than it probably has changed in the last 120 years since vehicles have been around. So it's really amazing to see the impact that, technology and autonomous driving and all of this information age and the reign of digital disruption is having on our industry.
And we're at the forefront of so much, and it is a really exciting time.
It is.
To be a part of this.
What we always tell dealers is don't be afraid of it, embrace it. Like, it's fun. It's a really fun time to be in this industry, and it's fun to change with it, and it brings great opportunity that's never existed before, right? You could sell a car to anybody anywhere in the country now because of the reign of digital disruption. So it's a great time to be part of the auto landscape.
Where can people go to find out more information?
Ally.com. Go on to Ally.com, go on to our Do It Right community hub, and really a lot of good articles on there, a lot of good content, any of our social pages, and you can find out a ton of information about what kind of a car you should buy, what you can afford, what your options are. So those are great resources.
Fantastic. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us. And again, here live from CES for Digital Trends coverage. We are going to be here all day. We have lots of interviews coming up. We have live broadcasts that are happening, and all of your all the information that you want to find, you can go to digitaltrends.com/CES. We've got coverage of everything happening here. So stay tuned with us. We'll be back in just a little bit.